Hi and welcome back to another video. This is Each Wave. I am here to talk to you a bit about some changes that I have done in my life recently. And I think the main purpose of doing videos like this is because I want to share my journey, my life, and I want to document it both because I want to see myself growing and I want to document the journey, but mainly, of course, to be creative and hopefully inspiring to someone. Last year I turned 30 and I decided to change my life completely in the middle of growing a family. And usually you grow your family when you're settled, or at least not right in that moment. But when I was pregnant with my daughter, I decided to completely change my life. I will go back to a little bit about myself just to get an understanding of how big the change has been, why I decided to make that change, and how this has affected me, basically. I come from a very small village next to a very small city in Sweden, which is a small country. My upbringing was very beautiful, it was very nice. Like, when you come from a small city, you either love it, you kind of accept it, or you hate it. And in my case, I never loved it. I tried to accept it for many years, but it turned out like slowly I started to hate it. And I felt like I was slowly drowning in this small city. I always felt like I was too big for the city. I don't know how to explain it, but I always felt like there's no space for me here. Most personalities and most people that I saw that was the same. Like, they were creative, they were often like, if you come from a small city, these people like special characters that you remember. They traveled, or they lived abroad, or they definitely moved away from the city. And in my case, I decided to start traveling. So I always had this city as a kind of like a base to come back to. So I traveled a lot to countries in Africa. I went to Kenya, Tanzania, Morocco, and I stayed for a long time. I also did some studies. I moved around, but my base was always this small city. I think mainly because my family lived there and it was very nice to just come home to the family. I have done a lot of these big shifts apart from my small city being my base. When I was 21, I became a mom. My son was with me everywhere. His dad is Moroccan, so we were going back and forth. We were living in Sweden, but we were also living for very long periods in Morocco, for example. But the problem was that every time I felt like I came back to this city, I really felt like this city was just... I had to shrink myself back to fit the size of the city. I started to get a lot of anxiety every time I came home. And it was not just coming home, it was just being in this small place where I have seen so much. I became a single mom. Every second week I had my son. And I think then I needed especially a lot of help with my son. And then it was not very nice to live close to the family. So I think that is why I stayed. And I tried to be like, I'm accepting it. It's nice. I really tried to make the best out of this whole situation. Slowly felt like this is bringing me down, but I can't accept it because there's no chance a single mom like me can move to Stockholm, for example. There's no chance. Then I would say that everything suddenly changed because I met my husband, Ibba. What was so inspiring with Ibba was that we were sharing kind of the same thing. We were sharing the same kind of dreams, but we have both tried to push ourselves to fit into this small city, and he was living in another small city. We lived together for 1 year. I just came home one day from work and I just asked Ibba, please, can you sit down? We need to have a conversation. And I just said, I want to move, and I want to move before summer. I was a few months pregnant, and maybe this was in the beginning of the year, January, February, something like that. I had a permanent job in this city, and our daughter was expected to come in May, so in the middle of May. So I was like, I know this is stressful, but I want to move before summer because I don't want to walk another parenting leave another summer with the stroller in the same street I have been walking for years that I don't feel so comfortable in. And my husband was like, yes, sure. I still have a very good relationship with my son's father, and he has a new partner, so that I also have a good contact with. So we all just decided to move to Stockholm, and I know that's a bit rare. We moved actually 1 week after the delivery. I just had this strong urge. I can't stand another summer here. I don't want to be here another summer. And I had a postpartum depression with my son, and I was just feeling like I can't be in the same environment again. So we basically came back from hospital after being there for a few days, and we continued packing. We had packed the whole time. Usually in that period, you fix the room of the baby. In our case, we packed our whole life, but we did everything ourselves. My brother came with a little bit of help in the morning, like when we were leaving. But luckily, I had a good delivery, like physically. So we were on the road with a small baby, only 1 week old, and an 8-year-old that was very sad, of course, because he was also leaving his grandparents, and he was leaving his friends and his school and everything. So only that was a huge challenge, especially, you know, with all of the hormones, and you're so sad and everything. And then you have to be like the strong parent that is trying to stay positive, and it was a big challenge. Also, when we came to Stockholm, we were like, got kind of this, you know, when you've been waiting for something and you're so excited, but you're also so stressed, and this and this and so much expectations. And then when you come there, everything is just silent. That was a very scary moment for me, because I needed to hold my shit together. I couldn't start to be like, oh my God, you know, because I was the parent. So I kept my shit together. Iba, he started to fix the apartment because he wanted to, you know, take on that father role and be like cleaning up and fixing up and make everything as good as it can be in that short time. And I wish that it would end there, but it didn't. We were so happy to be in Stockholm, and we went around with the car a lot, and we looked at different places. But every time we came back to the apartment, we were like, this is not what we expected. Just nothing felt right about it. We also started to notice that there was a lot of drugs and stuff around the neighborhood, and I felt very like, this is not how I want to raise my kids. This is exactly what I was scared of when I thought about moving, and we had to move again. And I was just very hormonal. I got the postpartum depression. I will talk about that in another video. It was insane. But one thing I never ever stopped to think about was, I know I'm doing the right thing. I know I'm doing the right thing. We're not there yet. We're not quite there. But this is what I want. So we just have to suck it up, and we have to do the best of the situation. So we moved. We found an apartment, and it was a very nice person, a very nice lady that rented out her apartment to us, because in Stockholm, you know, it's insane. And it was actually my dream area. It was the area I wanted to live in, but I thought, this is not gonna be possible, you know, to find an apartment here. It's not gonna be possible. And I am sitting on our terrace in this apartment right now, and we have lived here for more than 6 months, and we finally can. Now I have made this huge decision, and we have also started to settle in. And I can tell you, making this decision and not think about, oh, I'm 30, I should have a house, I should have this, all of these expectations that everyone keeps having on you and you are having on yourself. I did completely the opposite of what you are expected to do here. And I just said, I want to be happy from now on. I don't want to do this all over again and be in a place where I feel like I always need to leave. I always need to get somewhere. And the beauty that came out of this is not just that I feel less anxiety. I do feel, but much less. I am a very ancient person. I am a very sensitive person. But I think the beauty that came out of this was that I started to find personality traits, or like things inside of me that I have buried for a long time. I never felt like I could truly be myself. And moving here completely exploded my inner self. Creativity is like, it's boiling inside of me, and I even feel stressed that I don't have enough time to just sit and do all of this creative stuff that I want to do. I want to show it on YouTube. I want to start sharing it with the world. But this part of me has been pushed down, and I just need to, okay, you know, take it easy. We're going to get there. Because I can also tell you, with all of these changes that has happened, I can tell you that I had never in my life pictured myself creating a YouTube channel. It was completely out of everything. I couldn't, and that's why I'm so like late to start it also, because I had so much things that I have done that could have been so fun to document, but I just felt like I think you can understand if you're from a small city, because I don't know how to explain it. You don't want to stand out. Like, I tried to fit my foot into a very tight shoe for a very long time, and it was very uncomfortable, and it hurts, and it has like giving me scars. But when I changed the shoe, suddenly I realized I can walk as far as I want. And I started realizing that I don't need to be liked, and I don't need to be fitting into something. to a standard that a society has created, that if it's not you, the world is huge. You don't have to stay there. And in my case, I only have to move a few hours and I still live in the same country. At least for now. If I can move 1 week after I deliver with postpartum depression to a new city, I didn't know anyone here. I didn't have any friends. I had like some acquaintance, but I didn't have anyone that is close to me here at all. I know that after I have done all of this, I can literally do anything.